Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan Mubarak, and welcome to all of you to your institution, the Islamic Development Bank Group. May I now call on His Excellency, the Chairman of IsDB Group, Dr. Muhammad Sulaiman Al-Jasir, to deliver his welcoming remarks.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أفضل الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Your Excellency Dato Sri Anwar bin Ibrahim, Prime Minister of Malaysia, honorable guests, members of the Malaysian delegation, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan Mubarak wa kullu aamin wa antum bi alfi khair. On this blessed occasion of the first day of the holy month of Ramadan of the year 1444 of Hijrah, and on behalf of my colleagues at the Islamic Development Bank, I am delighted to welcome Your Excellency and your distinguished delegation to your institution, the Islamic Development Bank. As a development institution, the usual practice is to visit our member states to meet leaders and policymakers. But today, we are honored to receive Your Excellency as the Prime Minister of Malaysia and our Governor. We thank you very much, Your Excellency, for granting us this historic visit, which bears testament to the strong relationship between Malaysia and the Islamic Development Bank. As a founding member of the bank, Malaysia has been a model of success in various socio-economic advancements. The robust recovery achieved in 2022 demonstrates the immense potential of Malaysia and its leadership for a crucial role in the global economy. Mr. Prime Minister, in 1994, Your Excellency signed as Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance and the ISDB Governor for Malaysia an agreement with the Islamic Development Bank to establish the Kuala Lumpur Regional Office. This office is now a center of excellence aimed at exchanging success stories and impactful comprehensive solutions between Malaysia and the other 56 member states in Islamic finance, in halal ecosystems, and science and technology and innovation. And as we discussed just a little bit earlier, we will deepen that, inshallah. Under your leadership, we hope to strengthen this center's role and take the relationship between the Islamic Development Bank Group and Malaysia to new heights within the strategic partnership framework which is under preparation. My recent discussions with senior Malaysian officials and my successful visit to Malaysia in July of last year allowed me to explore new avenues for collaboration between Malaysia and the Islamic Development Bank Group. The potential projects include developing and piloting innovative Islamic finance products, financing strategic and capital-intensive projects like energy interconnection, vaccine production, and digital transformation, promoting the halal industry and supporting micro and small enterprises. Also, we look forward to greater support from Malaysia for the Islamic Development Bank's efforts in catering to the increasing demand for financing from its member states while maintaining its AAA credit rating by all three international rating agencies. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, honorable guests, I was delighted to hear from Malaysian leaders I met recently about Malaysia's new development agenda, aiming to ensure an inclusive and meaningful socio-economic development toward a civilized, skilled, and inclusive society. The Islamic Development Bank shares the 6 core values of Your Excellency's vision for Malaysia Madani: sustainability, prosperity, innovation, respect, trust, and compassion. We look forward to listening to Your Excellency's inspiring speech very shortly. But before that, I would like to thank the esteemed accompanying delegation and Malaysia's leading private sector companies for this visit. I am confident that the Malaysian private sector will continue to play a crucial role in economic growth and job creation. In addition, it will continue to complement the public sector's efforts to transform the Malaysian economy. In this regard, I assure you that the Islamic Development Bank will remain committed to supporting Malaysia in fulfilling its vision. At the same time, the bank looks forward to benefiting from the Malaysian experience to help other member states implement new development solutions. Mr. Prime Minister, I would also like to reiterate our sincere thanks to Your Excellency, praying that Allah the Almighty blesses you with wisdom and foresight to steer Malaysia toward more progress, peace, stability, and prosperity. I am also pleased to welcome Your Excellency to the Islamic Development Bank Board of Governors and the annual meetings. We look forward to your participation in those meetings on May 10-13 of this year in Jeddah, inshallah. It will be an opportunity to inspire other member states and identify opportunities for mutual benefits. Please rest assured that your institution, the Islamic Development Bank Group, will remain committed to achieving its objectives towards a prosperous and developed Muslim Ummah. We always count on your unwavering support in achieving this noble mission. Again, I wish all of you a very blessed Ramadan, and please always remember us in your prayers. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Your Excellency. May I now call on our guest of honor, His Excellency, the Prime Minister of Malaysia, the IsDB Governor for Malaysia, Dato Seri Anwar Ibrahim, to deliver his keynote address.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillahi alladhi arsala rasulahu bil huda wa dinil haqq liyuzhirahu ala ad-din kullih wa kafa billahi shahida. Wa usalli wa usallimu ala rasulihil kareem wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Respected brother, Chairman, Islamic Development Bank, Dr. Muhammad Sulaiman Jasir, fellow ministers, esteemed Shaykhuna, who's also an Ustaz al-Adib, Dr. Ahmad Muhammad Ali. Well, I don't have a choice. I'm pleased with your presence and extremely delighted to see you here. He's an incredible man with indefatigable work and commitment for Islam, and particularly in the history of the Islamic Development Bank. And may I, on behalf of my family, my colleagues, Malaysia, and the Muslim world, express our profound gratitude, thanks for your immense contribution to the Ummah in the form of the formidable Islamic Development Bank as we notice today. Thank you, Sheikh. I made the reference both as a family friend because he was there for us. He's not here because I happen to be a Prime Minister. He was always here, whether I'm just an member of Parliament or in the opposition or with nothing. He, Dr. Ahmad Muhammad Ali, is a real and dear brother to all of us. Thank you very much, sir. I have with me my delegation, both Minister for Foreign Affairs, so Brother Zamri, and also Brother Fahmi, who is Minister for Communications and Digital. And interestingly, I have noticed even the head of Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission here giving this moral support, because one of the pillars, as Dr. Muhammad referred to in the Madani, Dr. Ahmad is Madani in Malaysia now. Is your family name. People ask what is the trust, and the whole concept of our new administration is to build a new Malaysia, Malaysia Madani, sustainable, with ihsan, with rahmah, and inclusivity, as referred to by Dr. Muhammad. So it is your nation, it's a Madani Malaysia. And pray for us, inshallah, we'll succeed. And one of the trust, the pillars, which is relevant in the context of Islamic Development Bank, we have seen and worked together, and I was pleased, and I referred to Dr. Muhammad Sulaiman repeatedly just now, that I would want to have this sort of a relationship more meaningful, enhance the collaboration, because Islamic development still remains a pivotal institution for the Ummah. It has done wonders. It has spent billions to help and alleviate poverty and development in least developed countries. And I think it's our duty together, countries, including Malaysia, to participate effectively. And therefore I, in this new administration, have assured Dr. Muhammad Sulaiman Jasir that we are here to enhance the collaboration with you, and we give all the support that we can, as we did to Dr. Ahmad Muhammad Ali those years. But in order to change and to even accelerate the pace of reform, which I call Islah Mastata'tu, the dua of Allah Shu'aib, we have to start with some fundamental principles on the issue of governance, ensuring that we, the leaders, undertake to set a good example, to clean up the mess, to make sure that the country conducts its affairs according to the value principles and akhlaq of Islam, getting rid of endemic corruption, the arrogance of power, and making sure that the people will be the priority in participating in the entire economic and social program in our country. And that's why I make reference that pleased I am to see the head of the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission here, because I've been quite determined to rid the country of endemic corruption, because it will not, if this is tolerated, it will not help in the ideals what you talk about in the Islamic Development Bank or even the Madani. It has to start somewhere, and will start with the principles of good governance. We have, as I said, seen phenomenal progress in many fields. And although the regional office is no longer in Kuala Lumpur, partly because of the new demands and dictates in neighboring countries, Indonesia, but we have set up Kuala Lumpur Center of Excellence. And I have implored that the IDB gives this focus, because the focus of itqan fil amal is long before management gurus talking about striving of excellence. There's no activity, whether it's banking or financial or economic or educational, without the call for excellence, itqan fil amal. And we want to make sure that this center becomes truly meaningful, and Islamic Development Bank can, of course, undertake more serious note to use this center in all fields, including as a halal research in even vaccines. We're talking about Pasteur Institute in Senegal to collaborate in these efforts. And I, of course, would focus, of course, on new challenges like science, technology, and innovation, resources mobilization, the issue of food security, and digitalization, which is something new. When in the 90s, when we were working with Dr. Ahmad Ali, issues of AI or general digitalization is not something that we focus upon. But I think the IsDB Kuala Lumpur Center of Excellence must be prepared to explore in these new fields, new disciplines that we can benefit and the Ummah can benefit. But there are, of course, challenging issues with the world today. Even when we use the term sustainability, it's not a conventional term. Because what is sustainability in the short term, and the medium term, and the long term, if we do not provide and ensure that the society generally and the country generally protect not only its citizens, those grapple with the problem of abject poverty, the huge inequality between the very rich and the very poor, the quality of education, particularly for the poorer segment in the rural heartland or urban poor, which is becoming a major problem in our societies, and the degradation of the environment, which is now affecting all countries. I don't think we need necessarily to respond to the hectoring and dictates of the West, but we are talking about our own survival. So to my mind, when we talk about sustainability, we must be prepared to have a more comprehensive economic agenda that caters for both the material welfare, nature, and human living conditions. I'm also reminded, and I think I had this opportunity to have an exchange with Dr. Ahmad many years ago, when we referred to the concept ummatan wasata litakunu shuhada'a 'ala an-nas wa yakuna ar-rasulu 'alaykum shahida. That the balanced community is a community that can maintain some form of equilibrium between the spiritual and the material, between the dunyawi and the ukhrawi, between man and nature, man and environment. You can't have, for example, and be preaching about development if you destroy. In many of our countries, we have to deal with the issue of deforestation, because sometimes we have gone to the excesses. We have problems with excessive flooding, partly because of the work of nature, but partly because of facade on earth, because of the reluctance of man and those in power to understand the fact that we must maintain this wasat, this equilibrium, this society that must attain its balance. I mentioned about issue of trust, of amanah, of ihsan, and of rahmah, because without that transparency, of accountability, of public accountability, these are new terms, of course, and they are relevant to our societies. But these terms, as Muslims, are ingrained in what we believe as the core from the Quran and the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. From the in Malaysia, for example, students in the primary level have been assigned to memorize this. But we must give meaning. And professionals, the business community, and leaders must set that example so that the issue of accountability, public accountability, or what is considered in many countries, including ours, democratic accountability, is preferred in the term accountability, that you must be accountable to your work, to your office, to your family, to your nation, and finally to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That for the first part. Now, while I'm here on the invitation of Your Highness, but it was also to take the opportunity to engage with the business community. I thank the Malaysian business community and also the Saudi businessmen here who have taken the time and trouble to engage with Malaysia. Saudi investment in Malaysia has been it's a long history, and they've been very committed, including Dr. Muhammad Sulaiman, who's quite familiar with what I'm talking about in terms of investments into this country, into Malaysia. And now that we have a very stable government with clear, definitive policies, with commitment to ease the way of doing business, and a commitment to reform, to support the business community, and to support our national Madani agenda, I would appeal, therefore, to Saudi business community soon after Ramadan to send delegations and meet your counterpart, and we will, of course, encourage you to invest in various fields. As I mentioned, one of our priorities of digital technology, food security, and of course, general infrastructure in the country. And we look forward to your active participation in Malaysia. We have had some form of investments, including infrastructure, into Saudi Arabia. And to my mind, it's amazing for a relatively smaller country with a smaller economy as compared to Saudi Arabia, that we have investments into Saudi. And this is a very good reciprocal relationship between the two countries. But I would urge you strongly, and we'll give you all the necessary support, because it makes a lot of difference for a Muslim country, for a vibrant economy, and under the present leadership, where you find new innovations, new technology, and Crown Prince Highness Mohammed bin Salman embarking on new areas which could be seen to be not only leading or in the Muslim world, but also quite phenomenal change in the global community. And with that sort of engagement, a commitment, I would certainly appeal, urge my colleagues, my friends, the Saudi business community, to also take that opportunity to invest more in Malaysia. There's huge potential in the country, and because of its attractiveness, it may be recent revival. I mentioned to Chairman of Islamic Development Bank that even Amazon have decided last month to choose Malaysia as its destination for a huge $6 billion investment for AWS at a fast pace. And this is followed by many other technology centers and also investments within the region on the issue of food security. So may I thank again the chairman and the permanent chairman, Dr. Ahmad Ali, for their presence, and also for the colleagues from the Islamic Development Bank and brothers and sisters who have spent this first day of Ramadan, Kullu Aam wa Antum bi Khair, to be with us. May Allah protect us and give guidance to ensure that we succeed in our endeavor. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you. I would like to